asked you to name me a company that makes Sonic the Hedgehog merchandise, there is many answers you're gonna give me. You might say Jax. Very valid if you say Jax. I would argue they're the most popular. There's a chance you say Funko. Again, they've been making merch for a long time. I mean, these companies have been making it for not as long, but you might say Lego. I mean, technically they kind of had spurts of making merch and then spurts of not making merch. It's weird. But now we have a full Sonic dedicated line of Lego sets, which some of them are cool, some of them aren't. But that's not what we're talking about today. Today, we're talking about a company that not many people know about, but I absolutely love. I'm talking about Numbskull Designs Sonic the Hedgehog rubber ducks. I've got mine all in my packaging, but for this video we can temporarily take them off. I'll be honest, right now I don't know if I'm going to actually make this into a video, but I might. So each duck comes with a little bath. These are these are 4 inches ducks, and these are £20, which is kind of ridiculous. But here's how the Sonic duck looks. I think he is very, very majestic. Just look at this guy. It's so weird. It's such a weird concept. I never would have really understood a company who made Rubber Duck the fictional characters, but I actually really see the appeal. Like, I see how these could be as successful as Funko Pops one day, because they definitely could have the rarity, because these have, like, as you can see, this has a 3000 sticker, because this was one of the first 3000 they made. 3000 doesn't sound like a big number, but it actually kind of is. I'll try and go in order the best I can. I do have puns, hashtag the Sonic Toast for most of these. The next one, we have Dr. Eggman, which, I mean, this is probably the most duck-like duck of them all, because I probably should say these are called cosplaying ducks, so they're meant to be ducks kind of dressed up as characters. This is why Sonic has, like, yellow flesh instead of his normal colour flesh, because it wants to look like it's one of the classic rubber ducks. This is why you can see kind of Eggman's more duck-like head. Very, very nice duck. I'm going to say duck a lot in this video, aren't I? But yeah, for wave 1, I think I'm going to say duck a lot in this video, but sorry, let me just readjust. But for wave 1, I think this was phenomenal, but tubs were not done. In fact, as you'll find out, they made a lot of these, and they still make them to this day. DuckTales. Yeah, he actually has some tails in the back. This is probably the most advanced duck for the time, considering it has, like, the tails in the back, which... Is this built into the costume? They're built into the head, so are they, like, connected to the head? Oh, this is like one of them inflatable costumes. I don't know how the logistics of this work, but this is definitely the least duck-like duck as of right now, because there is no part of the normal duck flesh on. This is a full onesie, which I wonder how uncomfortable that is, but the eyes still poke through. Yeah, it seems like, the best way I can describe it is kind of like U2s, where they have the specific eyes. These have specific eyes. Speaking of, we have Duckles, who he continues to have the duck flesh, but this is in more of a fighting pose. I really like how Duckles looks. Yeah, so I think it would have been really cool if they just made this amount, because this is a nice amount of ducks, but of course they would not have stopped. And this is where we get into what is actually the first duck I ever owned. Little fun fact, it is the Super Sonic Duck. Now, you're probably wondering, why does this one have the flesh? And I assume it's because this is the same yellow they would use for the normal flesh. So if they actually used it, it would kind of clash a little bit. So again, this is a full onesie. And this one, the eyes are red. He has red eyes. So they actually switched it up a bit. I have no... could I? Yeah, I guess that's how we're doing. Wow, this is not going to work with the rest of them, but... They made a wave 4 because Super Sonic was a full wave of his own, which, I mean, I guess he deserves it. This is probably the most dynamic duck they made. Actually, let me check. Is this one the right number, or am I skipping one? Yes, this is the right duck. I am confident in that. Amy Rose Duck. Oh my god, my ducks just took a tumble. Okay. I guess Supersonic will just have to be a bit out of frame. But here's Amy Rose Duck. As I say, she has the big hammer. She has the arm, she has a nice little ring bracelets. And this one looks really nice. I like how she has her nice little dress. Again, that hammer is really nice. It's definitely not, it's not the coolest one, but it's definitely up there. I grabbed this one quite quickly because he's on my shadow shelf, but here's definitely the coolest one because he has a Chaos Emerald in his hand, but it's Shadow the Hedge Duck. This one is phenomenal. Honestly, they knew exactly what they were doing when they was making these. Shadow merch just always looks really clean, and this one is phenomenal. The back spikes are just humongous. He has like little, this is probably meant to be like his leg stripes, but it goes on like his tail, so that's very unique. I like the way they just completely, you know what, I can't just not have him. I'm going to balance him there, but like Supersonic, there's a chance he won't stay. Can I balance him on top of these two? Let me try. Okay, yeah, I doubt that's going to really work. He's definitely going to fall at some point. But guess what? Can you guess? You probably can. They made another wave, but interestingly, well, for starters, I've got to show you this. Not to spoil who the character is, but this one is a first edition. So I pre-ordered this guy because this is when I got. They released him when I started to collect the duck, and this is definitely our least duck-like duck as right now. And this is Metal Sonic Duck. Yes, this is the duck of Metal Sonic. The steel-plated faker looks really nice in duck form. This is what happens if Neo Metal Sonic copied the biodata of a rubber duck. He has nice hands. He's got a nice pose. I like the way they did like his arms and like his little look. Similar to the Shadow, they kind of did the tail similar to the legs in the kind where it has like turned back to grey and then to the bit of blue part. I like the tail as well. And if you look on the bottom, since this is a first edition, he has a first edition Tubbs symbol. He's got Tubbs with a big one going down the middle. I wouldn't recommend actually putting these in the bath because these aren't the normal rubber duck material. So there's a chance these will just kind of not work in the bath. But I don't know if we're going to go release order, because if we are, then I need to show you something first. But I think it's better if I just show you all the main ducks. So this is the most recent wave, and there's no point in really showing it, but similarly to the Metal Sonic one, the next three of these are all first edition Tubbs, which I'm going to go in order, because they have little numbers in the side of the box. But this one is probably weird, in the case that I didn't expect them to make this. Espio Duck. Yeah, I really like the tail and the back spikes, but does this mean we can get the rest of Team Chaotix in duck form? I would absolutely love if we got the full Heroes cast in ducks, but wow, yeah, so he has the first edition Tub symbol. A purple duck looks really nice. I like how they did this guy. He has his nice little front horn, and he's got the eyeliner. Yeah, this one just looks really nice. We have a little love heart shaped chest. They did his little bracelets really nicely. So for a return to the ducks, I think this was a great way of doing it. But obviously they wasn't just going to do one, because I believe this is the biggest lot of ducks they've done in quick succession. So this was a wonder fruit. Ooh, this one feels fragile. We have Rouge the Bat Duck. She has her wings, she has her little tights, she has her nice heart-shaped chest. I really like how her design looks in duck form. I think it really captures how the design looks. I like her little bit of, I don't know if it will show up, but she has lipstick on the beak and her little nose. Yeah, this might be the best one they've done, because I think it just looks the best translated into duck form. It's also the funniest, you know, like, yeah, I've rouged the bat as a duck. But anyways, we have Mr. It's No Use. We have Silver. Yeah. It's a duck of silver. Really happy they made Silver. But yeah, it's kind of weird how many of the cast we have in duck form now. But there's not just the main 11. You see, Tubbs decided to be a bit experimental. What do I mean by experimental? Well, kind of obvious, really. They made mini versions of all their ducks. So there's a mini Sonic. There's a mini version of the two-tailed fox, Tails. There is a mini version of Duckles. Oh yeah, sorry. Tails is called DuckTales, ain't he? Getting this out, we have Amy Rose Duck. They didn't make all of them. They made all of them at the time, and these were released before Metal Sonic. So we have Dr. Eggman in Mini Duck. We have Shadow the Hedge Duck. We have, last but not least, the Supersonic Duck. Now, I think I'm going to have to clean this area before I show you the next two, because the next two are big behemoth ducks. So let me quickly turn the camera off, and I'll continue in a bit. So I've cleaned up my little area. I know it took like 2 seconds for you, but for me it took about 20 minutes. Putting them ducks back in their packaging is much harder, than taking them out. But anyways, we are now down to our last two products. We have Big Sonic the Hedge Duck. I'm going to actually have to move I'm using a cable guy to hold you up, but look at this guy. As a comparison, this one stays out of the box. So there is a normal duck next to one of the big ducks. And they didn't just make Sonic, my Eggman too. These are really nice. These are nice material. Very, very cute. So yeah, those are all the products Numbskull Designs have made. I think these are phenomenal. Do I want any more? Yes, but wait a year, because these cost £20 and my money is dwindling quick. Anyways, thanks for listening to me talk about these ducks. And without further ado, I'm out of here.